Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. So for this week's episode, I really wanted to talk about something that I think is far more important than we typically put emphasis on, and that is the power of creation. So what do I mean by that? Well, everything's kind of created from something, right? Creation is the start of something that didn't really exist before in whatever form you want. So whether that be song, dance, something that you've written, something that you physically have built, everything that you see in front of you existed from someone's brain, right? They thought of this idea and then they put pen to paper and they created this item. So every single thing that you see around you is a creation, whether it be man made, made by nature, whatever, it's all been created. So, in other videos that I've talked about how God wants to live life through us. That's kind of the point of life, right? Is that God can experience life, these unique individual paths that we've woven. We're all from the same place, but these are just experiences that we're having in this form as a human being. With that comes the power of creation. And why it's so important is that we flow when we're being creative, right? So, one thing that I'll share is that I created my journal before I put words on the paper. What existed were just blank pages, but now I have filled this is my very special, important diary slash journal that I write in. I would say 99% of the day I'm writing in this. Like it's just who I am. And I have more than just this one. But prior to this, it was just blank, totally blank. And what I did was I created something fun and sacred to work in, something that I would find aesthetically pleasing. I went and I got a bunch of different stickers, a bunch of different stickers, nothing's the same. And I just kind of rolled with what I found visually appealing. And I have a lot of fun writing in it as a result. And it doesn't have to be anything big that you're creating, but the act of just making something that didn't exist prior to your thought is what creation is. You can create a family, you can create the life that you want. So, why I'm making this a full video when it seems like it's nonsensical is because we don't think about these things. Maybe you do, but like I don't know if the normal average person is thinking about their next move could be creation. And because God gets to live through us, it's important that we act on things that we're naturally talented in. So, ways that you can be creative could start small and simple and could just be pen to paper and see what comes up. So, I get in a lot of funks sometimes, and some people refer to them as like creative blocks, where it's like periods where I don't feel like necessarily drawing or coloring. I don't feel like making anything, but you can create something so small without even realizing that you're creating it. So, like, I have a seashell collection. I love going to the beach and collecting shells. And what I do with these shells is put them in this empty vase. So it went from being an empty vase, now I've created it to a full vase filled with shells. So I'm creating a collection of shells that I have found, and they're special to me, right? I've placed meaning on them, but I've created something new out of something that really was nothing. So it's interesting because it's really like just as simple as that. Oh, a glass jar of shells. How fun and unique, right? I'm not trying to be unique by this. I'm just putting minimal effort into making something that didn't exist before because it makes me feel happy inside. And I think that that's the nice like ease of just being a human being is you don't even have to put on pants to create something cool, and it doesn't have to be cool to anybody else but you. So when you get in these creative blocks, I think you're just putting too much emphasis on the word create, because creating feels like you have to do something and it's taxing and you're like, I don't know what to draw, I don't know what to think of, I don't know what to write, when it can really start from something so small as just an empty jar and putting pebbles inside of this jar that you find aesthetically pleasing. I found this rock at this park and I liked the way it looked. I liked the way it felt. So now I'm putting this pebble inside of a jar, and I'm going to keep continuing to collect these little pebbles, and maybe I'll have a full jar of them someday and I can put it on a shelf and just look at it. Doesn't matter how simple it may be. It's the fact that you're doing something small, you're creating some kind of movement, some kind of life force within you that is helping God expand. And it's really important to, like, you ever hear that saying, it's like, help me help you? That's what it's like, life, like help you by just doing the tiniest, smallest thing, and then just showing genuine appreciation for it. And you don't have to show it off to the class. Like, I just showed you my journal. This is extremely near and dear to me. I don't cart this around in publicly typically, but like, I'm okay sharing it because I'm not sharing the details within, but like, I just want to inspire and help bring some awareness to how simple these are, like pre-made. I use tape, start super small, and then just do like this behind me, this altar I created, right? Everything here is pretty much thrifted, or like these picture frames I stole from my mom. Like nothing, there's nothing special here that like I put a ton of effort into, um, or even thought. When I put it together, I just put it together because I liked it. Like this scarf was a gift from my friend Rachel. The crystals were like this was like a lot of these things were gifted or thrifted. This table was thrifted, but I'm creating something that didn't exist before, or I'm taking something in one form and making it molded into another form that suits my vibe right now. And I can just completely take this down, deconstruct it, and make something new out of it if I want to. It's God living through me. And like I said in the last video or a video prior, where it's like, God can live through you while you're scrolling on Instagram, but and again, Instagram's not the devil here, but it's just how much time we're putting into certain things in our lives that may or may not serve our higher purpose, may or may not align with us. So if you're ever feeling stuck in life in general, and you're like, I don't get it, I don't understand why I can't move ahead in XYZ, really step outside of like that thought and put down on paper like what you're doing for your day to day. So right from the beginning you wake up all the way to wake up. Okay, what's the first thing I did when I woke up? I checked Instagram. Okay, well, that's the first interaction of your day, is checking social media. That could be a red flag, right? Checked Instagram, went downstairs, got a cup of coffee, did what I had to do, XYZ, was back on Instagram. So just kind of like writing down your every single move for the day. It might seem like wacky, but just give it a go and see how much time and effort you're putting into certain things that may not be serving your best interest for your higher self and your development really in life, right? And that's something that like I've noticed about myself, is how much screen time I have. And like, yeah, you're watching the screen time right now, but hopefully this is like giving you a little pep in your step and helping you feel like slightly more motivated. But just monitoring your screen time. And then if you're feeling like, I don't know what to create, I don't know what to do, start journaling, or, like I said, find things that you like, and then just like kind of maybe start a micro collection of these items and see what you want to do with them after. You can put them in a jar and then put that jar on your kitchen counter, and then show your friends, yeah, I collected this stuff, yeah, I found this. And then make sure that it has like meaning to you, not just like a bunch of stuff that you found and you're like, whatever, I saw it on the side of the street. You can, but like if you want to really create something, make it have a little bit of meaning. So like what I've been doing recently, and these are just things that don't even cost money, is literally when I find these shells, I find them for free on the beach, right? And I don't take every shell because I know that you have to make sure the ecosystem's in a good standing place. I get it. But if I do find a shell and I really like that shell, I'll hold on to it, or I'll collect a few shells and then let go of the ones that I don't want to bring home. But in that moment, I don't have to decide then and there. So it just is like finding a little bit of meaning, remembering, hey, I found that shell at that beach and that was a really cool walk. And it was such a fun surprise finding something that unique and beautiful to me. And then I take it home and then I figure it out later. But I started doing this with simple things like literally with rocks. So, and you may be like, this is dumb as rocks. And I get that. And this isn't for everyone, but I'm just giving examples. So I started finding these like mini cute little stream pebbles, and I collected a bunch of them. And the different shades of colors that they all have and the shades that are found in nature. Like there are these some pebbles I found that are these beautiful, like milky clear color. And then I found some that are these really beautiful, like pinky rose color. And I'm going to see like how many I can get. Maybe I can like put them in a vase and create layers with the colors. I'm not really sure yet what I'm going to do with them, but they are beautiful. And it's just something that I'm in the process of creating. Over time, I will have a creation of something that literally stemmed from the dirt. So, allowing yourself to jump off of social media. So, after you get done watching this, close the laptop, shut off your TV, stretch a little, and then just go touch grass. Literally, go touch grass. See how it feels to disconnect. And initially, you're going to feel, most of us have kind of reprogrammed ourselves from being like not so techy. Maybe you grew up in a tech family, I'm not sure. But like, I'm a millennial. We didn't always have social media. We didn't always have the internet. So I grew up playing outside with my friends. We grew up playing hide and go seek and tag and all that things. We would create games to play. We just make up the rules right then and there. So I think that that's something maybe I long for. And that's why I find it to be an important topic. But also, being in the city and privy to witnessing a lot of different things a lot of the times. And I noticed that most of the time people are walking, they're on their phones. So like they're literally like walking like this and their face is like in the phone, not invested in anything that's around them, not witnessing any of the life being created around them, solely focused on the cell phone. And like I know someone who was like hit by a car because they weren't paying. Granted, it was the person driving's fault, but like the person on the phone could have reacted had they not been face down and the phone crossing the street. So it's just, you just witness, get to, oh, sorry, I just stumbled over my words. You get to witness certain things when you're in the city and observing just like our own natural lifestyles and how they've evolved into such an intense tech filled dependent world. So yeah, originally, I didn't mean to say originally. I'm sorry. I like sometimes lose my train of thought, and I also stumble over words. So I do apologize. But anyway, back to what I was saying about like initially it may feel uncomfortable getting off your phone and detaching because we've programmed ourselves to rely on the quickest solutions, to rely on the quickest feedback. If you need an answer for something, you just Google it and instantaneously at your fingertips, you have the answer for everything, right? So it's going to feel maybe a little foreign to you when you first disconnect, but once you disconnect and then you have to go on your phone is going to make you feel sick. Not literally, I mean, it could, but like you're not going to want to touch your phone as often as you do if you just practice being mindful and if you practice being disconnected from technology and learning how to reconnect in different ways. So, again, creation is just an outlet that I've chosen to talk about today because I do think it's important. And I don't think that enough people, you see online, creators online, digital creators, the market's saturated with them. But what can you do offline? What can you do that's special just to you? And I pose that question, but I really want you to sit and think about it. And you don't have to, you're not Monet, right? Like I'm not searching for Monet here. I'm searching for me. And that's all you have to search for within. Just search for who you are and what makes you tick and what makes you feel aligned and what makes you happy. And if that's doom scrolling, by all means, go for it. But I'm just trying to think of a way for like humanity to kind of reconnect. And it's sort of a major point of this whole podcast is like getting off of cell phones. Eventually, I would like to have something where like we're doing something, we're collaborating together, we're coming together as a community, we're conversing together, and we can be each other's friends and neighbors and love, just love. That's all I want. But anyway, keeping it relatively short, I just ask that all of you look within and think about what you enjoy. Start small. You can literally pull things from the dirt and create something that feels magical to you. It doesn't have to be a masterpiece. It doesn't have to be the Mona Lisa. It just has to be something that feels good for you inside. And yeah, feel free to also like and subscribe if you feel called to. And please share this video if you feel called to, because I'm trying to just grow something special for the world. to come together and yeah, let's all be friends and let's create something awesome together. So yeah, let's get out there, guys. Let's get out there and do it. Until next week.